continuous bombardment, continuous destruction of 4 residential blocks, continuous targeting of the tens of people, and increased number of internally displaced people, killed and injured people at the same time.
It's been 615 days since the start of the genocide in Gaza, and the situation is worsening each day. The region is now unrecognizable. Mounds of debris remain where apartments, universities, and hospitals once stood. More than 52,800 Palestinians have been killed, and about 90% of Gaza's population is displaced. A generation is growing up in the midst of war, knowing the camp, the food line, and the street, rather than home, school, or the playground. In spite of the growing global movement in support of the Palestinians' right to exist, Israeli officers continue to carry out their goal of ethnic cleansing. Not long after the Israeli government instructed its army to occupy Gaza indefinitely, Finance Minister Bezalel boldly stated that victory would mean the complete destruction of the region and a forced expulsion of its residents to neighboring countries. This is a textbook definition of ethnic cleansing. Genocide can't happen without dehumanization. The aggressor doesn't see their victim as another person who shares with them a right to live, but as something worse than an animal, a plague that must be eradicated. That's why the Israeli occupying army has time and again targeted campsites, points of humanitarian aid distribution, hospitals, clinics, and ambulances. Every Palestinian man, woman, and child is, in their eyes, an abomination undeserving of the absolute bare minimum needed to survive in a war zone. And Zionism has blended this cruelty with a putrid religious undertone. One of the many disturbing actions taken by Israel throughout this genocide was when it airdropped pamphlets over Gaza with verses from the Holy Quran. These verses refer to the story of the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, or Noah, and are meant to remind mankind of their imperative to believe in God and act justly, since they're always beheld to His mercy.
ولقد أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه فلبث فيهم 1000 سنة إلا 50 عاما فلبث فيهم 1000 سنة إلا 50 عاما فأخذهم الطوفان وهم ظالمون.
However, the Israelis reframed these verses to suggest Palestinians must submit to the will of their occupiers. The implication behind this move is clear. Israel believes they are above humanity, that they determine who gets to live and die. But in reality, no man, state, machine, or anything for that matter can really give or take away someone's life. Consider this. The occupation targeted hospitals, but Gazans continued to provide medical care. They prevented trucks from getting aid in, but Gazans continued to support their people with whatever they had. They caused food prices to inflate, but Gazans recommissioned old bakeries and gave out bread for free. They cut off access to essentials, but Gazans built solar-powered water filtration systems and distributed water to internally displaced communities. The past few months have been incredibly painful for the people of Gaza, but with your support we've been able to make a difference with these humanitarian projects. Each person in Gaza who survives this inhuman onslaught is a sign that the settlement project is doomed to collapse. That's because their smiles carry a message. We are determined to live. It's a sobering reminder that, at the end of the day, no matter how badly the occupation wants to eradicate the people of Palestine, the matter isn't in their hands. It's in the hands of Allah. As He mentions in the Quran, in the verse directly following the one the occupation mocked. It was the believers that were saved from the flood at the time of Nuh, while the oppressors were completely destroyed. Allah the Most High has promised a truly righteous victory, and no matter how much His enemies plot against Him, he prevails in the end. Jazakumullahu khairan for your continued support. Visit IslamicOasis.org to find out how you can get involved, or send a donation via QuickPay and Zelle using the information on the screen. Assalamu alaikum.